Anime. One of my favorite mediums. I love anime. And before you ask, no, I have never felt the touch of a woman before. I watch a lot of anime. I watch the mainstream stuff and the underground stuff. Now I could talk to you about my favorite anime, but for one, literally everyone has already seen my favorite anime. I would talk to you about my favorite slice of life, but I don't want to go to jail. So let me talk about an anime that you uncultured swines over in America won't watch. One Piece. There are so many good things about this series. The backstories, fire. The soundtrack, fire. The character design, fire. The voice acting, amazing. And before you ask about filler, what filler? There's like only 10% filler out of like 950 plus episodes. At the time of this recording, that is. And before you ask about the voice acting, no, I could not care less if you watch it in sub or dub. Who actually cares? Or why are people so fixated on what language you watch anime in? That being said, the sub is better. And no, I can already hear you. I don't care if it's too long or if it looks weird. Watch it. I'm tired of you anime fans saying, bro, it only gets good after episode 400. And while episode 400 was a really good episode, I want you to shut up. I'm sick and tired, Chief. Y'all, no. Y'all calling it trash, and you only seen 3 episodes. You know what? Better yet, read One Piece. The colored manga is like the best way to experience the series anyway. And maybe then you'll understand why Usopp and Sogeking would smack Goku. But yeah, that's all for me. Now go watch the funny parrot do the Gomu Gomu before I eat your liver.
Anime. So diverse, so cultured, so misunderstood. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to tell you guys about a show that you probably have never heard of. So I'm part of this anime collab thingy that Ness wanted me to do, and I guess I could have pitched in on this. So I'm going to tell you guys about a show that you probably don't even care for, but you're still going to listen to me talk because I think that you're going to enjoy whatever the heck I'm going to say about this video when you're probably not going to, and you're probably not even going to care about what show I'm going to talk about. You're just listening to me on your freaking laptop or TV or whatever the frick you use, a freaking Nokia 30 or whatever. You know what? Let me just get on to the video, bro. The show's name is Cannon Busters. And yes, as an anime fan, I have no recollection of a woman's lips touching mine, so let's get right into the video. To easily sum it up, the plot of Cannon Busters follows Philly the Kid, a rogue with a high bounty on his head. The reason he has a high bounty on his head is because he's able to avoid any kind of altercation untouched. Why, I hear you asking as you scratch your Cheeto-stained beard? Well, the answer is simple. He can't die. Like, what did you expect me to say? He has Ultra Instinct 900 or something? Man, get that crap out of here! So in the Cannon Buster universe, being immortal means that you can't die, no matter the circumstances. So like, if your body gets obliterated, but like a piece, like a small piece of your finger is able to survive, boom, you regenerate. And that's essentially what Philly is. He is immortal. Oh yeah, and this cool thing, he gets a number every time he dies. And currently, he's at 41 deaths. Yeah, no, you got yeah, no, you thought this guy was smart. Man, no, he's an idiot. What did you expect? I mean, you'd think he'd be more careful. But, I mean, no, he's immortal, so, like, of course you're bound to get more lax. But the man got 41 deaths. How? What kind of trouble do you have to get into? That's why this leads me into my next subject. Along his journey, he meets Samson Oak and Casey Neistat, who gets him into all sorts of crazy adventures. You could only imagine all the fun Philly is having. He isn't having fun. So if I have to talk about the music, you guys do know that the opening was made by the same people who made the Boondocks opening, so like, there's enough said right there. All in all, Cannon Busters is a really cool and funny show, and I thoroughly enjoyed it a lot. It was really good, I must say, and I hope you enjoy it too. So like, watch it right now.
I feel a few pounds lighter. If you were an anime fan in the early 2000s, then you should be familiar with an anime by the name of Fullmetal Alchemist. Now I know what you're thinking. Since Brotherhood came out in 2009, what version do you watch? Both are very good, but I highly suggest watching Brotherhood because it follows bit by bit after the manga. And don't ever touch the live action movie. Oh my gosh, it's so bad! Anyways, Fullmetal Alchemist is an anime about two brothers named Edward and Alphonse Elric, who lived with their mother when they were very young. One day, the boy's motherly love came to a close when she passed away of an epidemic. Ha! That's kind of ironic, right? Because, you know, we're in a pandemic. Project to give the boys determination to bring her back to life using human transportation, the taboo in the world of alchemy. Unfortunately, the task did not succeed, causing Ed to lose 2 of his limbs, while Al lost his entire body. After a failed attempt of trying to see their mother smile again, Ed was transported to a white plane with a big gray door behind him and a white figure in front of him named Truth. After his encounter with Truth, the door behind him begins to open and it swallows him. I know it's kinda crazy, but there's a lot of life lessons that this anime teaches you. Like, hatred and violence only breed more hatred and violence, emotions don't make you weak, and most importantly, nothing equals the value of a human life. Who is and who isn't to be considered human is a question I asked over and over again as I watched the story unfold and chimeras and homunculi and people like Al are introduced. I hold this anime dear to my heart because it's not like Dragon Ball Z or Naruto. There are no power levels or extra forms you have to deal with, and to me, that's kind of a refresher. Anyways, I've talked enough about this. I suggest watching it for yourself.
You've gone and grown smaller.
Granny, you've got it wrong. You're supposed to say how big you've grown lately, Ed.
But why would I say something so clearly untrue?
I'm still taller than you mini hag!
So, it's time for my segment. I'm talking about God of High School. God of High School is an anime starting out with 3 main characters, Morijin, Mirror, and Darui Han. The whole plot of the show is to win the tournament to be granted whatever wish you want. Now, at the beginning, you have no idea how this wish can be granted, but that will be saved for later. Now, I don't want to focus talking about the anime. I want to focus on how much they skipped and what they didn't explain. And I'm not hating on the anime because it's actually pretty good. Some of the fight scenes and some other action are actually really good. But they have skipped a lot. Like, a lot. Like, when I mean a lot, I mean they skipped, they went through 12 episodes in the anime, they went through 112 chapters. And you can imagine how much of that they possibly skipped. I'll give you like 5 seconds. Did you have enough time? Okay, good. Now, first, I want to talk about Cherry-Oaks. Now, there's different types, so I'm just gonna explain them. So the first one is weapon summoning and reinforcement. Basically, what these are is a form of just getting godly power and infusing it into your weapon, or just summoning weapons in general. It can increase the power and other stuff too. And then the second one is summoning. Now the second one is basically summoning a god or a form of creature as a object, or just something else entirely. This can be the form of Hate, as the Cherry Oak for Darui Han. And then there's parasitic, and this one there's not that many of it. Like if you remember Taek Jigao, his weird kind of monster thing growing on him is actually parasitic, and it's called Tam, or also known as greed. And what this does is that it can consume power and then grow as from that. Now the history, I don't want to spoil that because you will see it later. Hopefully they make a season 2 of this and actually explain more on it, but I'll just go ahead and go to the next one. And then there's direct contract, which basically is that you create a contract with a god, and with creating this contract, it allows you to more efficiently communicate with the god and gain more power and basically become way stronger. And then there's something kind of there's something like basically another level to this, to this. It's called a power lenderization or lineal descendant. And basically what this does is it's a direct contract, except you're receiving a power as that avatar of the god. Or in other words, or you could be a descendant, like a direct descendant of that god. And you can imagine how much more power you could get with that. And with Judge Q, well, he's basically direct descendant, and that's how he's able to use Joker more efficiently, or his Chariok, that is. And then there's the key. The keys, they're a very rare and powerful Chariok, which is able to seal and awaken abilities in Charioks and gods. There's only 2 known ones right now, and one of them, as you can see, is Ilpio, but the other one will be revealed later after in the anime. And then there's the original way of borrowing power, or Charioks. Now there's only one example right now in the anime, and that's if you watched all the way to the end. And basically what this consequence is that whenever they first started using borrowed power, it basically either did 2 things to you. It could either make you grow extremely old, or you could get younger. And in this case, it happens to the Wishmaker at the end of the anime. Now, onto National Treasures. This National Treasures go under the category of weapon summoning, because basically National Treasures are just ancient weapons that have unhumane power. Now, they can easily be summoned, and also it can all be varied. It could be just direct contracts, or just happen to be found anywhere. In some you need to have a special form of connection. And I guess this is all for now, because I don't want to talk about any more.
We discussed a lot of anime in this video. It might take me a while to edit. I watched most of them that we discussed, but if I were to tell you the anime I watched the most, it would probably be this.